Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Buckets. Not really any intro today, just subscribe if you have not already and drop a like on this video. Also, I messed with some settings on my camera. I have no idea what I'm doing, so there's a very real chance that this footage looks weird. I looked at it before sitting down and it looked a little bit white, so I don't know if I look very bright in this video. It's already not going to help my complexion if that's the case. But yeah, if it looks weird, that's why. I have no idea what I'm doing with the camera. But okay, so for the games I watched today, I watched Pacers versus Cavs, Bulls versus Pelicans, Sixers versus Jazz fourth quarter and overtime, Blazers versus Warriors, and I watched the last minute of Kings versus Lakers without LeBron, but I have literally no take about that game, so I'm not going to bother talking about it. So first things first, I'm going to talk about the Sixers versus Jazz game, though I only watched the fourth quarter in OT. The title of this video is going to be about the Jazz, mostly because I have no idea what else to title it. I was going to title it something about how Steph is the best point guard in the NBA, and even though he did win this matchup versus Dame overall, I think Dame definitely made a valiant effort as he really helped the team come back in the fourth quarter, but I'm trying not to dive into that one too much yet. But I want to talk about the Jazz because this is another L. I'm actually going to pull up their recent games just to be sure that I'm not like... I'm pretty sure they have lost 3, not in a row, but out of their last 10, yeah, they are 6-4, which for a team that was previously 21-5 is definitely a dip. That's a 60% win percentage as opposed to whatever that one is, because I'm not doing the math. So they have been a little bit worse. They're actually on a 2-game losing streak now. So Utah is slipping conveniently right after I make a video on why you should believe in the Utah Jazz. So I really appreciate the timing of that. Anyways, so for this one in general, to close this one out, I didn't have too many takes about the actual fourth quarter, but to end this game, or end this regular, I almost said regular season. What's it called? Regulation. Embiid ran out from the post to the three-point line, like scurried behind the three-point line, put it up, and it went in. Like, Embiid just doesn't miss jumpers this year. I don't know if he's still at 40% from three, but he has been most of the year. Hey, I don't know what it is. His mid-range shot's still awesome. He's up there with some of the best mid-range shooters in the league. So, yeah, shout out to Joel Embiid. He had like 40 and 10 in this game, which I think I saw a graphic that said he had 5 this year and the rest of the league had 10. Had 4, so he has more 40 and 10 games than any player in the league and more than the rest of the league in total. After Embiid hit that 3, Mike Conley got a pretty good look up for a floater with his right hand, which is his signature thing, but it missed narrowly. That went to overtime. Tobias Harris had 6 straight in overtime, so he's important to this team. And yeah, Joel Embiid continues to add to his MVP campaign, though I think with the Nuggets starting to be a lot better lately, while Jokic continues to put up absurd numbers, he's definitely starting to give them a bit of a case. Let's talk about Pacers versus Cavs. The reason, you would think that, you watch Sixers versus Jazz over that game, but I was like, I'm going to watch the team that I normally wouldn't because I want to make sure I'm watching a decent amount of games for each team so I can comment on them. The Pacers and the Cavs are one of my lesser viewed teams because they're really boring. So that's what happens here. I was also thinking about maybe titling this about the Pacers, but then they actually made a comeback because initially they were down like double digits to the Cavs. And they were having a rough shooting game for the start, and then third quarter comes around, they made a bit of a comeback. Part of this is because TJ McConnell may be the best game of his career, unless there's some game that I am missing. He finishes with a triple-double, not on rebounds, but on steals. He's 1 steal away from tying the NBA record for most steals in a single game. So he finishes with 16 points, 13 assists, and 10 steals on 8 for 8 shooting from the field and only 2 turnovers. Also grabbed 4 rebounds in the process in about 36 minutes. He just played absolutely phenomenally, pretty much almost flawless. So shout out to TJ McConnell. For this game in general, Dean Wade started at the 4 for the Cavs. I made a comment on him a couple of videos ago, like, why is this guy getting big minutes? But this game, I think he finished 5 for 6 from 3. Last I looked, that's what he had. Let me pull that up. He finished 5 for 8, so he missed 2 more after I'd looked at the box score months previous, but that's still very good shooting. So thinks he can be a bit of a stretch 4. Colin Sexton missed a game-winning 3, but then Dylan Windler put up a putback with a second left. And if you don't know, that does nothing because they were still down 1. So that was, I guess there was 1 second on the clock. What else are you going to do? A pass out to the perimeter wouldn't have done anything. So I don't know. It is a lose-lose situation. Another note that I had from this one, Miles Turner took a lot of like push shot floater / hook things, like layups, but like layups that required touch because he was like 5 feet out, and like all of them missed. So I don't know. It's not really an observation I've made with him before, but like at least this game, his touch was rather rough. He still played well overall in the scoring department. He had 4 blocks as he's one to do. But yeah, he missed a good amount of shots that like are really like if you had better touch, you'd make them. Anyways, that was that game in general. Not too many takeaways. Oh, also Darius Garland. I'm pretty sure he did not make the Rising Stars game, but like he was good in this one. Very good 3-point shooter. I'm glad that he turned his career around because his rookie year was really rough. And I was like, I really believe Darius Garland can be a good player, and he has been this year. Colin Sexton with 32 and 10. I feel the need to mention that. Also shot relatively well from the field, although I think it's wild that a guard puts up 25 shots and only 5 of them are threes in today's NBA. But yeah, so good game for the Cavs, but the Pacers make the comeback. I was going to title it about how the Pacers have been really mid this year. And not even mid, they've been bad, and that's not great for, being good at basketball. I don't know where I'm going with this. Basically, the Pacers, like, I don't think their roster is, like, it's not like it's going to get a whole lot better in the next coming years, and I'm not really at the point. I feel like the Pacers are very quickly going in the direction of just being for a couple of years, which is fine, but I don't see this team breaking out into contention or anything like that pretty much ever with this core. So let's talk about Bulls versus Pelicans. This game had a couple of things that annoyed me. Really, mainly, it was Stacey King on the call. The more and more I actually understand basketball as years go on, the less and less I like Stacey King, because you realize his commentary is basically just a repeat of the same thing over and over again, which the things he talks about and the way he talks about them, and it's just kind of a thing with commentary in general, they very much appeal to like the casual fan, which is fine, but for me and for me, I'm not going to enjoy that. There was also this game, I don't know what game it was, but like it was the Suns game versus the Jazz. The Suns game versus the Jazz, and it was the play where Devin Booker wrapped his hand around wait, was that the Jazz? Who the fuck were they playing? This is why editing is a thing, but I refuse to edit. I don't know if it was the Jazz that the Suns were playing. Whoever the Suns were playing, I think it might have been the Lakers. Was it? Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, Devin Booker had a play where he had his hand like wrapped around. It was the Lakers. It was KCP, and they brought the ref guy that they go to explain it. And he was just like, so the referees here believe that it may have been contact that makes it a flagrant, but clearly upon review, they didn't think it was a flagrant. And they're like, thanks for that one, Tom, or whatever the fuck his name was. And I'm like, dude, no shit. But I guess for the common fan, they need that. I don't know, but it frustrates me. Stacey King is like that a lot. He'll be like, mid-range shots, they're good. That's his commentary. Or the Bulls need to get more opportunity in the paint, or they need to put up effort. Like, he doesn't have anything all that deep to say, but he's entertaining enough. So for the entertainment element, no doubt Stacey King does it in this game, or in general. But like, fuck me, in this game was he annoying because he kept saying that Zion was an undersized 4. Like, he suggested that both Wendell Carter and Thaddeus Young post up on Zion Williamson because he's undersized. Post defense is mostly about strength. So unless it's just a really, really short guy, that's not how that's going to work. And like suggesting like post defense is probably the best defense that Zion, like the best thing that Zion is at defense right now is post defense. And like to see him over and over be like, why are they not targeting Zion Williamson in the post? It's because he's fucking 300 pounds. That's why. Anyways, that doesn't matter to anybody but me. Kobe and Zach apparently don't like the Pelicans because the first game they played them this year, they both dropped 8 threes, which is the first time that happened in NBA history. This time around, Zach LaVine with nearly 40 had 36 and 8, and Kobe White had 25 on 50% shooting, and Both of them hit 8 threes combined this time around instead of 16 combined. Wendell was missing a lot of push shots, which was annoying, but he grabbed 15 rebounds. Patrick Williams had one of his better games. He also played very good defense on Zion, so good for him. Denzel Valentine sucked. And then talking about the Pelicans side of things, the Pelicans, like, they went down to start this game, and then Zion led them on a comeback in the first quarter and like a little bit at the start of the second. And then I think Zion got foul trouble or he sat or something like that. And then it became the Brandon Ingram show. And then when Zion came back, it was still the Brandon Ingram show. And the Bulls gradually got a big lead again. And then fourth quarter comes around, the Bulls are up like 18, and the Pelicans go on a run once again. And this time it's because, once again, Zion is like leading the show. Also, Jackson Hayes, who completely fucked the Bulls in this fourth quarter, was a big part of that as well. But like, it seems like the engine of the Pelicans does the best when Zion is that engine, or the vehicle of the whatever metaphors. Basically, the Pelicans need to stop acting like, oh, who's the first option? It's Zion. And it should be clear who the first option is. And yet it seems like there's so many possessions where Zion's just sitting there. It's very frustrating to me. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this game. I was about to say, did I cover everything? But also Blazers versus Warriors. This game, there's not too much to say. It's actually kind of disappointing. This game ended up being really more of a defensive affair. The Warriors as a whole shot 42%, and the Blazers shot 42%. And that's not great. Damian Lillard finishes with just 22 points on 35% shooting. So that speaks to the game he had. Steph had like 22 on like 70% shooting in the first half. And then he only finishes with, he finished with 35. Last I looked, his numbers were not as great. So yeah, Steph actually definitely won this individual battle. But the Blazers won the war. Carmelo Anthony continues to be great for the Blazers off of the bench. I'm actually curious what his stats are this year versus last year. He's averaging 13 points per game. Last year, he averaged 15, so that's actually mildly worse. I don't know, it feels like he's been doing better than last year, but I guess it's game-by-game basis. Gary Trent in this one, rough game. His threes were not dropping, which that's most of his game, so if they're not going to drop, then that's tough. Also, Juan Toscano-Anderson, he played well in this game, so shout out to that guy. A lot of rebounds for 18 minutes per game. Wiggins was doing Wiggins things. I don't have a lot of takes from this one, if you cannot tell from my commentary. The Warriors were up by a decent amount, and then it got to a pretty close game, and Damian Lillard ended up being the one who came up clutch. And actually, I don't know what the numbers were, but I know there was like a couple of possessions back-to-back where Steph missed like 4 shots. So he didn't exactly clutch this one out, even though he probably had the better overall performance. But I don't have too much to say about this game in general. I was hoping to make some big Dame versus Steph thing, but there really was not. Like, Dame overall didn't play great, and while Steph did play great, his team lost, so I can't like frame it that way. So, whatever. It was an alright game. I was expecting a little bit more. It was close, but like, it wasn't like good close. It was frustrating close, if that makes sense. I have no idea if that makes sense. You might get it, you might not. Oh well, hopefully this video didn't look weird. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Bye.